Hi, this is Edwin Gamer. Naglalaro tayo ngayon ng game called Citizen Sleeper. So, my name is Edwin. This is Edwin Gamer. So, naglalaro tayo ngayon ng game na Citizen Sleeper. Again, maglalaro tayo na about 1 hour or a little more. Tingnan natin. So, ang Citizen Sleeper, I'm not really so sure what to expect from this game. Mainly because I vaguely know na ano siya, it may dice element na RPG. So, it fascinated me kasi, well, the dice element thing. Kasi nga, it reminds you of board games. Kung titingnan nyo nga yung logo, parang mayroon siyang ano yun? Parang may dice na 1 hanggang 6. Ayun. Pero it's also parang may pagka cyberpunk look, which I really like. Tapos meron doon sila sabing ticking clocks, pati drive and skills. And ano ba description dito? Okay, so meron siyang action dice. Each cycle you roll your dice, assign them to a vast range of actions available on the station, which every action choose what and who, what matters to you, shaping the lives of those around you and ultimately the future of the station. Tapos ticking clocks naman, clock tracks both your actions and the actions of others on the station, from becoming the local and at the overlook to protect a friend from Yatagan enforcers. Clocks allow you to track your own progress and influence you have on the world around you. Drive and skills follow drives, not quests, allowing you to pick and choose the stories and activities that matter to you. As you do, you will shape your character's 5 skills: engineer, interface, endure, intuit, engage, unlocking perks and bonuses that reflect and change how you choose to live in this world. So yan, I am really curious. That's all I can say right now. So ano na tayo? Start na tayo. Yeah. Start A. New game. Empty. Am I an operator? Operator works with drones, high precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers, I like being able to do stuff from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operators work are usually cerebral precise people. Magaling siya sa digital interface. Ito naman, extractor. Extractor work on the resource extraction often in hard vacuums environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work as often confident, self-sufficient, and have high level of endurance. Okay. Ano pa iba? Machinist. Machinist is a machinist repairs and modifies automated systems listed in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Am I structured? Para mas gusto ko itong operator. Sige, dyan tayo. First thing, where are you? Unknown. The first thing you become aware on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting, minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body. Ayun. A leap into a cold lake na hot day. The sting, blood welling from a flesh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of the sudden, memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. Cold slips in behind you and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb nor trembling nerves, just a warning, delivered with a banal quality of digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the plan. You mostly remember that it was good, that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. And once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something else much worse. It was at least simple collapse shaft, drift away in chaos, slip into cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, then hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock, even if in the airless hold of a freighter. You might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Ang decision natin dito. Try to rest. But you're restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs and to your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but even then your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of the impossibility to begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves into your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream when you were once a person. Time passes. Cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints releases from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Ano to? You are out. Ooh, what is this? What is this? What is this? It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, so corroded beyond recognition. Others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace your as you trace your their shapes with forged eyes, you hear a voice. So sleeper, all you thought yet? Almost. I've never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. So, pangalan niya si Dragos. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbolically linked drones perches. Its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment, or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. What happened to them? Stay silent. What happened to them? Okay. He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it. To sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you can't go back to your old body that's theirs now. You are just software. A rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it, but the body of yours is falling apart. It's the same as any sleeper who makes it out. Espen Arp wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it. From the other sleepers, planned obsolescence, 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 a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that you were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from your emulated mind, how long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away towards the glassy dome of the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as a storage out of stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you are welcome to it. Something wells up inside you, emotion fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head up on there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Drago stalks back into the Rex. His drones already converging into a rush Hulk plasma. Flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Wow. Okay, so um yun yung intro. Medyo mahaba-haba yun. Okay. Pero parang it reminded I don't know if that affects the game, yung conversation na yun. If it does, then it reminds me of Ultima na sa start ng game yung mga questions na binibigay sa'yo. Pero I don't know if that will affect your stats. Um, we'll see. Kung may magbago, makikita natin mamaya. So okay, sa start na tayo sa tutorial. Introduction. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the edge of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward at the station. Head to the empty container. Locate a location to rest and cycle, and then end the cycle now. Select locations and continue. Empty container. Tapos end cycle. You wake up curled in the corner of the container, and you begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. There you are, ruined on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know after all this. What matters? I'll focus on getting a life since medyo parang he's rejected. Do I need to get answers? That would be parang mysterious, ano? Ano kaya? So let's go for getting answers. Well, it all matters. The past is impossible to escape. If it remains a blur, what Espen Arp did to you cannot be forgotten. You need a way to understand all of this before you can move on. Where are you? What is this place? What happened to the others? The questions outnumber the answers. You want to change that, but you have to learn to survive first. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. A mylar blanket, a bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets. Some desiccated powder. Your thumb the powder stud on the stove and begin to boil water. The contents of the sachet smells like damp wood and you sprinkle them onto the liquid. As a pungent smell washes over you, images of you, your restless sleep come back to you, a ring like a station but skeletal and ghostly, a web of threads pulling at your skin, a constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away at the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay, tutorial, condition, active dice, and energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but you can also be damaged by violence, injury, lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You will have to figure out how to recover your condition. Now you have no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions in the station. Number of dice rolled is based on the current condition. The worse your condition, the less dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions. You must rest and recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat and survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you have to find somewhere to get food, a currency to buy it. Your energy depletes by 2 segments per cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving and the condition will deplete at a double rate per cycle. Okay. Tingnan natin yung character natin, RB. May nagbago ba? Yes, it's possible na may nagbago. Kasi yeah. One upgrade point. Leave. Okay, so anong gagawin natin dito? Cryo. Cryptocurrency stored in air world sticks in your okay, cheats maybe. Ayun. Okay, so yung laro ko kanina somehow triggered something na nag-stuck yung game. Kahit na nag-exit ako, nag-stuck pa rin. So that actually ate up so much of my minutes. Kasi ni-restart ko yung game twice. So medyo na bad trip ako doon kasi akala ko may mali akong ginagawa for a long period of time. Akala ko may mali akong ginagawa. So yung pala, there was something that was not triggering yung next element ng game. Which is dapat pag nag-exit ako, dapat may mag-trigger na parang kakausapin ako ng character. That never happened dun sa unang playthroughs ko, so I had to exit the game, shut it down, restart the game, tapos inulit ko yung process. Just doing hindi lang pwede i-reset mo lang yung exit ka lang, tapos start from there. Dapat talaga patayin mo muna yung game bago bumalik. So that it was a bit frustrating kasi I was really into this kasi umpisa pa lang, training pa lang tayo tapos ganun na agad yung nangyari. Pero okay, sige. Tuloy lang natin to. Sana wag na mangyari ulit kasi nakaka-bad trip lang. He is still wearing his headset and in the harsh light of the corridor you lies, it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder. Its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it will keep you safe. He pauses. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long. Are you well enough to work? Sure. Alright then, he nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to shipyards on the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out something with a bit more value, but most of what comes is in scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to manual labor And obviously, I'll slip you a few cheats of commission based on what you turn up. Cheats. These he pulls out a handful of small metal bars, air-walled cryo, isolated from the market, and that's what we use to trade out. He stuffs them back in a pocket, shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be suited moving on as quick as you can, and the sleepers, well, but things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need help. I'm happy to. Okay? Thinking of something else to add? Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay. Ayan, salamat, nakagalaw na ako. That really is that was really frustrating. I was really about to totally quit the game kasi akala ko may mali akong ginagawa. Let's move on. Okay, ngayon. Tutorial number 1/2. 1/2. Actions are the primary way to interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To forward action, select up, down, and A. And then choose an action die to assign. Relatable action. Risky hull decision. Even the rustiest hull can hide value components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Repeatable action. Manual salvage. So, going to take some time sort to cut your way through towers to salvage. Okay, so yan yung mga missions. Okay. Actions reward with the clock progress. Energy condition items depending on the outcome. Here, there are 3 types of outcome. Positive, neutral, and action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes follows. 6, 5, 3, 4, 1, and 2. Okay. Action displays information about the type, risk, level, and modifiers apply to that action. Type 1. Critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. 2. It's a risk, safe, risky, danger. Safe, no loss condition, energy cryo. Negative outcome means cryo energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Skill. Engineer that requires action, either engineer interface into it. Intuition. Either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This added action dice slotted and improves its value. Some actions require +1 to perform. Okay. Okay. Hull dissection. Engineer. Bako. I'm gonna do this one. Wait. Ito lang. Hull dissection. Tayo. Yan. Tapos start action. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed how the action will fill them. They track your actions, how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad and it's about to happen. Some clocks has one tracking diagonal step are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle. and can complete without player input. Any active cycle cost will be displayed on the icon for that location. You will in City Sleep you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drive guides you to pursuing objectives. Depending on which path you take, you can track drives, and any track drive will place a yellow marker on a location that will help you pursue your goal. You're now free to explore, make your life for yourself here. Try tracking a drive to help you survive. Look for food and keep your energy up. Recover condition, fill clocks, progress stories. Find opportunities. Remember to end cycle. You need to go to your home when you're out of dice. Rotate camera, LTR. Ano yun? Saan ako? Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Okay, ano ito? Salvage sort. Since several cycles to reach start. Assist. Dito tayo sa safe muna. Okay. This time you don't wake up. Instead of a ghost of the station shifting skeletal rounds, the shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. For a moment you are gone, absent from your own body, stretch out across colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging you on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and their extensions as you feel through, slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of disturbed nodes they connect you. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. Touch it. You find a point in the station where you connect to it, pulse through it, follow loops and paths under and around it. You touch more points and then you have fingers, and then you try in a moment to connect them. The flow passes through you so rapidly that you feel being carried with it, splitting and separating, eddying and gathering as you do. Things to occur to you, things that you can't possibly know. You reach out, try to grasp them, try to touch them too. You notice a tugging feeling pulling at you, insistently, as if you were a small child, somehow pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours at all at once. You find yourself standing in a container, eyes with now to the dark steel walls. You feel a change of within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel waiting there. The stations played out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored, and then it's gone. Oh no! Where do I get to eat? How do I eat? Okay. You end up at a drinking stall debating and finger points at solemn collapse, and you try to remember tips of companions offer you. Yay! Ano to? Okay, I meet a new one. May bago na akong character. Okay, Emphys is basically broad-faced, lift, makeshift gas burner. With the precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into the dented wok. His other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flecked dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with a bright salad, depositing into plastic trays, a stack of chits, and rattles a apron bucket as customers pass their burner, handing over payment. Approach. You join the queue as almost made of duty salvages. Vax suits unzipped and rolled down to expose stained vests, grubby mods, and lattice of scars and tattoos. They discuss the best food on the eye, the best milk, comparing notes on bright market dives. Their words cut through with every spacer slang. Eventually, it's your turn. Emphasis speak on deep overtone without looking up. First try is free. Thank you. Yes, I want to thank him. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks. The earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire and your skin hardens in its glare. I know you, you sleepers. Emphasis says he cooks his deep voice, but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. You began to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods and he cooks. His eye never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and the sudden arrival. You tell him the cold dark of the container and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him some like dream, like some dream that you know the once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually, you tail off, running out of words. He placed a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, but next time you pay. He slams a heavy hand against the button uh, on the burner side and shuts it off. The roar, flame, and expressive heat fades. Next time, then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. Ano to? You walk away. As you do, take a bite of rich, spicy delicacy, sweet fungus. Your taste centers light up. With a fusion reactor, you'll be back. Next, shuffle down the flickering way towards open apartment. You keep your head down with shoulders high, you trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that the doctor was operating out of this place, but now you are here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, but without supply stabilizer this body, your body will suppress a shiver and shuffle towards front of the queue. You find yourself something to distract yourself. Look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light flickering through the far doorway, screened with plastic sheet, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforced palm against your doorway jerks you awake. Await your turn, he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you catch your distant voice. Send in the next one, Toshiro. The enforcer jerks his head, and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheet of far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. Floor to the ceiling, transparent panel gives you gives you a full view of the bright market sealed roof and buzzing traffic above. At the moment, you are transfixed by the motion. Sabine. Ah, that's nice. My wife likes that name. Okay. Sabine, a doctor in Bright Market. Okay. Come sit. Comes a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame over the simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns. As they do, you see an expression of confusion flashes across their features. They open their mouths as to speak. They blink and they quickly regain composure. Please sit. They gesture to the dead and turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They told, remain still, please. Their tone clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead. You dazed from their expression when you entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. How long have you been in this station? They answered. Scanner goes a few cycles. They nod. It's good you came to see me. They set the diagnostic scanner from the table. I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything. Yes, I don't know anything. Okay. They take your arm and roll up the sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. Your body is dying. They say without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. Espen Arp doesn't like to see its property technology set loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call it, being stolen, repurposed, in your case escaping, they built a process they call the planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when they are not regular. Injected with stabilizer, one with S Pen ARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That made help. They swap to your other arm, running through thin metal device. You feel your forearm you feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean gold for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers are most people know you, aren't classified as people as in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And S Pen Arm has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this as if I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disappointing metal instruments and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then Sabine gives you to gives away silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing to say something, anything. Sabine turns to your face. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes. Hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside. You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yataga. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from Stuart Melt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source a stabilizer, maybe you can have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes incomplete. This is dangerous and it'll be expensive. But I think we can do it. Why help me? Sabine walks away to the window in their face, dappled in the shadows passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave, Sabine still staring out and moving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face. But the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Okay, yung game na to para kang nagbabasa ng libro. Or it really reminds me of RPGs na kailangan niya you're reading, getting into the details, or parang may nagkakwento sa'yo. Tapos on certain elements, you make choices, and on certain area, you have, yun nga, dito sa game na to, you have a dice roll that you have to make, have to make use for the day. And it's interesting though, kasi parang it feels like I'm playing a board game that feels like parang it can be done as a board game. Tapos I rest. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. Sparks, glittering lights, like the stars reflected in Winter Lake. It's clearer, crisper than before. The thread still pulls, but you remain in place, tricking the flow. Between the threads, you see bright shapes, cache- caches of shimmering light beneath, transparent crystal forms. You follow the path and of the thread across the ring. Through these forms, then leaping off into the void. You begin to understand. These nodes, the connection, map of information, communication. There's so many layers of so many loops. It seems almost impossible to parse. But then you try it again. The nodes are glassy bright, but all of this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid, a triangle. Dimensions are difficult here. And lean close to it inside shifting layers conceal a triangle of threads. A meeting point of exchange, but before you can glimpse inside, the glass clouds harden, cutting you off. The thread and nodes and passages and the puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the path and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again, see two lines. Two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied to you. This is basically random. I just choose first or second and I don't know what it does. So I go for second. A second thread pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and at this time you see something, a sphere shimmering above a strange angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. The first thread leads out away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. You open your eyes, time is short. Something has changed inside you. You can now access data cloud, the eye, network of decaying protocols, and data caches. While you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data, be careful, these nets were old and strange. Oh, okay. Data actions can allow you to extract data from the networks of the eye. They work like dice actions, but to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed. The right action. If you have 1+1+2 modifier, given more possible chance to match. If you use any die that matches the dice displayed, the ones locked, the data can be extracted. Okay. Ooh. So dito, kailangan may exact information. Dapat may exact dice roll ako. Habang mayroong mga iba na kailangan ko ng wala pa rin. So, sakto lang 60. Nagkain muna ako. $15. Tumaas ang energy ko. That's good. I need money. Ano to? Flow the action sheets components and exchange complex sharp iron. Right, you can get a good margin. Sell components. Wala pa ako. Ito. Okay. Balik na. Wala pa. Explore tayo. Oh. Okay, wala na ako. I am out. I need to rest. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up. May bagong character. Okay, si Feng. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you and a wonky grin. Glad I caught you. Do I know you? You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around. Just want to chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. It can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it told? The eye opens up for all. Nice idea, but well, not always very practical. We do our best, but it ain't easy. Erlin? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlin? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Should organize some seminars. Not really in my department though. I'm with systems. Think of us as an administrative association for the eye. Depending on who you talk to, we either merge a response to you or continuation of Andrel's Erlin original union. He smiles personally. I avoid the topic. He stops to you in a quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. I've been seeing some unusual network activity, and well, I know little about you, sleepers. I have a small proposition for you. He glances around, but, well, this is not the place for it. I have an office across the way. Give me a cycle or two to prepare, and then when you are settled up, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If they say is what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats on the back, voice bright, and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising his hand in farewell. Okay. Assault tayo. Assist shipbuilder tayo. Let's hope it turns out well. Start action. Okay, good. Meron na ulit akong 60. Okay, I'm going to be safe muna. Yeah, go for the safe. Wait. Tayo. Meron yata ditong kailangan ko. As you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread, tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste of the voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. As you see a distant glint of light shuts off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown, astringent, processing. Resist. Stay still. Please hold. A thread around you thickens until it's a ring cylinder. Tunnel of light circling around you. It's blinding for a moment, and then it's gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. A strange head flickers between you. In front of you, a strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What are you? A shape paces around you on the lithe legs, though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. Unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, often not off, attempting to interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head. Thick, shaking, vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts its threads, and its head's twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. You only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You're an entity. Once all hunters head indirectly in front of you, blocking your vision, you think of their taste. I'm the one from the sealed dock. Hunter shimmers. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dock. An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Hunter extended rage edge. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows murderous intent. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing a spike interference leaping out of his tip or of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station. Station light shaking with fear. I rest. I meet Sabine again. The first thing you see upon entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eye in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark as you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with the case open. In front of it, a set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick up one, rotating it in the warm light. We have no idea how Yatagan. They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it will really what it appears to be. I'm a test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. We have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. Stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of yourself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign materials, therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial would-be stabilizer, however, unlike immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains which act as a passcodes within your immune system. Stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Passcodes? Which in very basic terms, yes. Look, what matters here is the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic and biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away as if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin to readying the syringe. I will start a small dose to limit the risk. Okay, let's do it. Sabine cracks a glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe and you watch as any sign might merge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection with a little response. As the sensation begins to spread from the site, a fizzling, trembling wave that disperses through your arm. With incredible speed, your vision goes white and then returns. Sabine appears encased in shards, sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled voices like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate awake. Yes, stabilizer is genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled and distracted. You should rest some more, but you are going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. I'm sorry. Sabine nods toward the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you more doses. You are going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room as they return to your glowing slate, looking around the room. It seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you've been out. Sabine, nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get to your feet and wander out in the hallway. The queue starts down flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare. As you leave, you lower your eyes. As you stumble past, somehow faintly aware the station is spinning beneath you. Okay, not hungry now. $50-50 ako. I'm buy some scrap. I buy scrap. Okay, kuha ko ng stuff. Ano to? Wait. Sleeper. Feng catches your attention as you approach the building, leaning against the bay door side of the entrance. You approach easier to come this way, security and all. He gives you a look, you know. Wait, inom muna ako. Okay. Continue. He slams a button by the bay, creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware, all rigged up to generators, diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There is this chorus of hums and that bends into a single wave of static, filling the dark corners of the room. Fen leans to the server stack and gestures around. You like it? It's incredible. He smiles widely. I thought you'd say that. He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over a towering block speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station. A1. The one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we've never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up to the Eye and think they are seeing a constant concrete reality, but this place is a system of constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks, and you follow. Where we are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines as they hum around you. You can see this too, Sleeper. All of these system sections. Can't you? I can see it. It makes sense, right? You are between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light up this place like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you as you do seem to flicker, to realign and follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always a deal when you are on the run, right? They're tracking me. He pats his shoulder. Maybe I can help you with that. There's an old growth in this place, subsistent I can't see, access protocols, lost in time, decay, secrets. Load of secrets. Okay. With your help, I can unlock this place, break off uh, those ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum, even in Havenage. There's an old growth. Those days were roots trace back to those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say? I'm in. Fang pumps his fist and claps on the shoulder. Makes you won't regret it, sleeper. Fang passes you ragged along the metal tab. A gift. A Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depth of the station. A slot that with an old network gate, you'll be able to pull it out on all kinds of secret nodes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, the nods the ceiling, have granted me acquisition budgets. I can pay you for whatever useful bay data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, sleeper. I'll see you soon. You step back. Blinking back out in the passage. Flickering lights still back in your mind. Okay. Meron akong... Ito, may -1 ako dun. I'm Dragos. Okay, you arrive into the buzz activity in the yard. Red blinking lights flash across the dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across the scorched hull plates and bent structures, spilling from holes and twisted shape. Cutters huge has been torn apart from some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Drago stands beside the focused honking ship as it's lowered to the yard. She is. I should thank you. This place was on the last legs when it turned up. Look at this. The ship descends slowly into the interior, visibly through the multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for the monstrous craft. You can't help but think what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? Glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, not my concern. The ship creaks like calving iceberg as it reaches base yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know I said I shouldn't stick around. You shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching you wonder, you arrived in similar fashion, locked inside that container. A wreck. The Espen freighter lowered. Or was a container delivered to you? Delivered to Dragos on its own. a womb of your rebirth into this strange station. You shudder. Perhaps you should learn something about the ship. You might be able to trace a path. What led to you this into this yard? Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think you were up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name ship emblazoned on its side, Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps on you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real bounty. Perhaps just to himself, you take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, then slip out of the yard, feeling cold. Empty passage. Yes! Tutorial is done! That was a pretty long tutorial. Okay. Hindi pa pala. Hindi pa pala tapos yung tutorial. Tuloy pa rin pala. Okay, pahinga na. Sleep. Uy! Oh wow! Oh wow! I have a full set of dice. Ayun na nga, so natapos ko na yung tutorial at last. Okay. Nakapag-autosave na ako. That's great news. Ayan. So that's I think I'm not so sure kung nakalampas ako ng 1 hour. Recording ko lampas ng 1 hour kasi ang dami kong problema na nangyari kanina. Hindi took me several minutes to get out of that stuck area. Anyway, so yun, tong game na to, it's really reminds me of a board game / RPG. RPG siya in a sense na you make choices, pero it's more of a board game dahil ano to, you have this map that you decide anong sa pupunta yung mga dice rolls mo. Tapos there's this other map na pag nakukuha ano naman na you can use yung dice rolls mo to unlock stuff, which requires a specific dice roll instead dun sa isa na yung may chance of getting stuff. Depende sa dice roll mo kung higher value mas madaling makuha or may sure ka makukuha mo. Pag mababa yung value, very low chance of getting something or parang high chance of failing that sa situation. So ayun, so lahat ng dice roll mo may purpose and I really really like that. Ayan. Yeah, so this is interesting so far. So far, nagsabi dito, nag-save na siya. So, I'm gonna end the video soon. Thank you for watching this first playthrough ko ng Citizen Sleeper. It wasn't as smooth, but I like where this is going. It feels more flexible than I originally thought it would be. Graphics is very simple. It really requires a lot of reading. So, ayun. Parang, if you read a lot, you can really get into it. Para ka nagbabasa ng libro. Or you parang choose your own adventure thing. Ayun. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Tapos kung mahilig kayo sa mga board games, check this out. Ayun, so Variable Play is a group of content creators focusing on, well, board games. So makikita nyo dyan, meron mga discussions, meron mga news, meron mga unboxing, meron mga sleeving, meron mga painting. So maraming pinag-uusapan regarding board games, tapos mag-announce ng mga events, meron mga ibang bagay and all. Tapos yun, kung mahilig kayo sa mga movies, toys, video games, and more, check out Geekosity Mag and punkbeast.com. Okay, so thank you sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa akin. Thank you sa mga bagong subscribers. As in, I'm really happy na meron mga subscribers. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for enjoying my content. Anyway, thank you very much and bye-bye.